What's going on, man? Welcome to Rock Doc Trucker TV. Today we got. Go ahead and introduce yourself, man.
My name Jeremiah, but they call me BlackSolo.
Okay, BlackSolo. Um, so, you know, first off, before we get into it, I want to say thank you for taking the time to actually come out here and do this interview with me. I know you washing clothes.
Hey, they ain't never over.
Right. So, before, as we get into this, tell us a little bit about yourself, man. Before we get into the conversation of, the trucking industry and, tell me where you're from, how you grew up, your background a little bit, things that you want the people to know. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Well, from a little town called Port Arthur, Texas.
Hey, I'm from Dallas, Texas.
Land of the trail.
Already.
And moved about 12, 13 years ago to Corpus Christi.
Okay.
Work a little construction. Where I'm from, the sun don't always shine. Land of UGK, R.I.P. the Pimp.
Yes, sir.
Had a rough little upcoming. Wasn't picket fences and, silver spoons. It was more like wooden spoons and no fence. But my T. Jones was a good lady. She inspired me to move around. Better yet, she said it'd probably be best if you just uproot yourself and let your wings expand and fly away.
Okay.
So many words. It's close to Beaumont.
Okay.
It was one of the, for a few years, #1 murder capital.
Okay.
So it ain't too good, but put myself in a better situation, and here I am.
So let's talk about T. Jones, Miss T. Jones, a little bit. Like, were you related to her, or close relative?
T. Jones is my mama.
Okay.
She just passed about 3 years ago.
Oh, man, rest in peace.
And so this trucking thing kind of play a big role in that.
Okay.
We'll get to that later on. But she was a good woman. She was a preacher.
Okay.
She always would give a person the shirt off her back. She was sweet. Never even heard a cuss. I don't know where I get my words from, but she was a real saint.
Yeah.
In disguise of an angel.
Man.
And
I'm sorry about your loss, man.
Yeah, it's all good.
So, what made you get into trucking?
Obama.
Mom. Okay.
I do certified electrician, certified pipe fitter, certified scalper builder, certified culinary arts. Do a little anger management, even though I got anger problems.
Okay.
And she was like, during the pandemic, she was like, why don't you find something that ain't shut down? I was like, I never thought about that. She was like, what about trucking? Your daddy used to do it. I was like, yeah, and he wasn't around. That's kind of why I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
She was like, but they paying. So I was like, you got a good point. So I went to Del Mar College, entered into their little course, graduated, started working for one of these upstanding, supposedly, companies. And it pays, but it's just a lot that come with it.
Yeah. So my question, I guess my next question is, did you ever have a trainer when you went out on your first run, or did you get right into it? They just hired you right off the bat?
Nah, well, they hired me right off the bat.
Because I know sometimes going to a college and then going to like an actual like a company, and then they put you
Right.
through their little system is a little bit different.
It is.
So how was that for you?
It was actually all right.
Was it?
To be honest with you, the guy that trained me is a good old friend of mine named Kevin. The old white dude. He was real knowledgeable.
Okay.
We went out for 3 weeks and we traveled the whole world, almost. and he knew what he was doing. You know, he would throw me in the seat, and he go to sleep, and I'm like, wait, hold on, bro. You know, I don't want to get in trouble. And then he
Right.
say, I could feel what you're doing from right here in this bed.
Okay.
I say, how can you feel what I'm doing? He said, I know when the curve coming. Don't use that Jake brake too much. Okay, okay. He showed me the pros and cons of back end, and you know, when you practicing on cones, it ain't the same thing as reality.
Yeah, that's true.
When reality set in and ain't nobody there coaching you, it's like, okay, what I'm gonna do? I know I got to park for the night.
So that's a good point you brought up. Is, you know, I think a lot of people when they go through the schools and they gotta go through the cones, they look at it as going to be a cakewalk, and then when they get out here, they realize that it's not usually what they thought it was.
Nah, it ain't.
Yeah. So your first year truck driving, tell me like a scary experience kind of made you, you know, whether it be made you want to stay in trucking, leave trucking, or just automatically shocked by it.
Well, like I said, you know, I pipe fit and I do a little electrical, so I've always traveled the world. So driving ain't really a shock to me, whether it's down south, up north, east, west, in between. You know, it's all the same, whether it's a high profile vehicle or just a regular car. It's all the same tactics. It's just different maneuvers in the truck. Nothing really shocked me, but I had found out my mama had stage 4 cancer, you know, and I was getting in contact with dispatch or what have you, you know, and right before she got ready to pass, you know, she was like, I need you to come see me. I need you to get off the road. I'm like, well, I just got my own truck. You know, they about to send me to El Paso, and then I can come to the crib. And they ended up sending me to El Paso and then tried to route me to Laredo. And they knew the situation, you know. And I told them I need to get home. You know, this is important to me. I don't care what's important to you. I need to get home.
Yeah.
So he's like, well, if you take this one last load, you know, I give you as much time as you want off. And I mean, it was on my way home, but it wasn't on my way, you know, because I could have just shot through San Antonio, went straight to Corpus, but I had to veer off. And that 2 or 3 little hour span,
Could have made a difference.
you know, made a big difference in me heading to Port Arthur. And, you know, by the time I got there, my wife, midway Houston, she looked at me. She was on the phone like, what's wrong? You know, we were already going 120 down the highway. And she say, man, she ain't make it. I said, what you talking about? She's like, man, she gone. I'm like, why would you tell me that going 120 miles an hour? So she could feel the car accelerating, and shit, as soon as I walked in there, she was already cold, you know, so
Did that happen
you know,
recently? Did that
it
happen
was like 3 years ago.
recently?
So, you know, companies, they just want their money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They don't
right.
care about what you got going on or what's important to you. The only thing important to them is the load. I don't care what company it is, because I done been through a few. At the end of the day, the only thing they worry about is that truck and what's on the back of it. And is you gonna make it there on time, or do we need to extend it? Anything outside of that, and them people don't care about you.
You know, here further into that, I want to talk a little bit more about that here in a minute. Don't let me forget about that. But I did have a question, man. Like, one of the things, I know I've been in quite a few of them. I've been doing this since 2016. I've been in quite a few altercations at a few pumps, whether it be somebody on the road. Have you ever had an incident with another driver, just another person, like going to put in fuel, to, you know, driving on the highway? Tell me a little bit about that kind of experience with you
Well,
and how you handle it.
like I said, I might have had 3 experiences in my time of driving. As far as the fuel, I never had a problem. You know, it's kind of you fill up, move, let the next person go. That's kind of
Respect. You had that respect. Yeah. Okay.
The driving part, I mean, everybody drive erratically, especially at night.
Yeah.
And they don't understand that you have blind spots. And so I can't, if you riding on the side of my passenger window, I can't see you. You know, and I had an altercation like that like two times at least. Where a guy just was riding on the side of me. I speed up, he speed up. I slow down, he slow down. I'm like, man, so I just hit the horn on him.
Yeah.
And he speeds up, slides in front of me, brake check me, and then slides to my driver door, flips me off. So, you know, at that moment, I kind of had I wanted to have a moment of road rage, but I'm like, it ain't worth my license, man. I'm gonna let him make it.
That's fact.
And then the second time, this guy, he was getting off of a ramp, and traffic packed, doom, 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 6-lane road. So ain't nowhere for me to go. I'm far right. And he sees me, and instead of him stopping or slowing down, you know, he speeds this little Peterbilt up, but it wasn't going faster than I was going.
Yeah.
And so we almost collided because I couldn't jam on the brake. I couldn't slow down. It was, you just gonna have to wait, bro. And I kept hollering. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he pulls up on the side of me on my driver door, and hey, motherfucker, pull over, man. I'm like, bro, you don't want me to pull over. I'm already got enough stress. If I got to pull over, we're going to have a serious-ass problem, man. And he looked at me. And then funny thing is, I ended up catching him 200-300 miles down the road at a truck stop. That's how God do you. I was in Iowa, and the wind was blowing like a mug. So I got ready to back in, and he was parked in a spot that didn't have any lines, so he shouldn't have been there.
Yeah.
That's his first fuck up. Second one, I'm backing in, and the wind, it was a storm about 2 years ago. They had a few tornadoes pass through there. And the wind started kicking in. It had been raining all day. And it tipped my trailer and tipped the top of his, and he was hauling sand. And so I noticed where my trailer had nicked him. And so he gets out the truck, fat ass dude, puts his hand on his hip and leans on his trailer. So I didn't got into my spot, you know. I get out with my insurance papers or what have you, and he looks to the sky. He looks at me. He say, man, we just keep running into each other, huh? I say, no, you park where you shouldn't be parked there. He's like, well, I was just taking a break. I say, but that's not a parking spot. And my bad about my trailer tipping your trailer. Mm-hmm. But right now, my mind ain't right. And so he got to asking me a few questions while my mind wasn't right. And then it all led back to my mama. And he was like, man, you know what, I'm sorry about cutting you off earlier. You know, I didn't know what you were going through. And I guess he could see the animosity in my face, like, you know, either we about to get down or you about to lay down, one of the two.
Right.
Because I ain't about to mess with you. And he was like, man, I'm not going to call the police or nothing. You know, I'm sorry. Let's go sit down and have something to eat. And so what could have ended out bad
turned out to be something.
Ended up turning out to be a lesson for others. Yeah. You know, you don't know what the next person going through in that vehicle when you get that moment of road rage. Like, you don't know what that person thinking about, and you don't know if you're going to run into them a few miles down the road. You know, what you gonna do?
Yeah, that's facts. That's facts. Man, you know, that's something I think that's some good knowledge to throw out there for people and let them know, because I think especially new people coming into the trucking industry, sometimes they don't understand that you need to control that road rage, because even though we the biggest things on the road, sometimes just cooler heads will prevail, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Let me ask you a question though, man. I know I've been asked this question. I ask it all the time. So how long, you say you've been driving for a while now. My question to you is, have you ever had an experience with a lot lizard?
No.
And what I mean by a lot lizard, not you personally like getting involved.
Just period.
But just one coming up, knocking on your door.
One time.
And describe her. Tell me how it happened.
I was
how it
in
went down.
Atlanta.
Okay.
I had seen the chick when I pulled up. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I've been going through some things, so and I ain't even thinking about that. My body ain't even functioning right for me to even think about that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to park, take me a shower, get something to eat, go to sleep, watch a movie maybe. And I did exactly what I just said. Took a shower, got something to eat, coming back to my truck. I seen him getting somebody else's truck. So I sat in my driver's seat, smoked me a cigarette. I see the little truck rocking or whatever. And I closed the curtain.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Once that curtain, that's like a going to a restaurant, you see the sign say open, now it's closed. When you see that curtain closed, man, don't come knock on my door, man. That day you disrespectful.
Yeah.
So she knocks on the door anyway. Hey, looking for a good time? I said, nah, I'm having a bad time. Ain't nothing you could do for me.
Right.
Especially if you jumping out of everybody's truck. You feel me? Right. You ain't took no bath. You ain't douche. What you gonna do for me? Give me what he got? I'm good on that, man. She say, well, give me your card to Love's and I can go take a shower. I said, I give you the card to go take a shower. Matter of fact, I walk in there and get you the ticket, but I ain't got nothing I want. Because you don't even value yourself.
That's true.
So at the end of the day, I see a bunch of dudes out there, whether they single or married, you take a chance playing in something to get something.
Yeah, that's true.
Mama used to always say, they got shit that penicillin don't cure.
I know that's right.
So I avoid them kind of situations.
So, and the reason that I bring that particular situation is because I want people who coming into the industry to be aware of that, because even though you don't see it as prominent anymore,
right?
The good thing is that people need to know about it. So, because some of these mom and pop truck stops in some of these cities, they still around, and informing the new wave of truck drivers that's something you might have to encounter. So try to avoid places like that. You know what I'm saying?
I kind of call it the setup shop. Where I'm from, we'll get a chick to come knock on your door. We sitting across the parking lot just watching.
Yeah. Waiting
on that opportunity.
See, and that's another.
She might say, I'm going to put the phone down, and she just sent that message out, bing.
Yeah.
And then you in there rocking your socks off. And she done unlocked your door, and you didn't even peep game. Yeah. Now we all in here together.
Yeah.
You already doing some fucking, so we ain't going to communicate.
Yeah.
So either lay down or get down, which one you want. But I want your wallet. And matter of fact, what you hauling in the back of this truck. Because if you got some TVs or something I can make money off of, I might take your truck too.
That's facts.
So you kind of playing with yourself, and then at that, it could be a sting operation at night.
Mm-hmm.
And you just, trying to get your whistle wet all alone. That's the undercover law, man. They can still have sex with you.
Yeah.
Ain't no law in that, but what's the law is solicitation. So once you offered her, well, what can you do for this?
Yeah.
You done already put yourself in the hole. Now, whether you get it or not, whether you do or you don't, after that, what you gonna do when they say, hey, hands up?
Yep.
This PD, whoever.
They need to do is watch the show Cops. You get a first-hand experience.
Yeah, first-hand. You on national TV. Your wife done seen you everything. You was buying that cootie. Yeah. So my advice to anybody, man, leave that alone. Don't put yourself in that situation.
Basically, the best safety advice you can tell anybody coming in is just kind of keep to yourself.
Keep to yourself.
And
just like being in prison, man. You don't want to be the one out there doing all the talking.
Yeah.
Because somebody watching you with all that talking, and sometimes when you say the wrong thing, it might get you in a bad predicament. So the best kept secret is kept secret.
Yeah. So here's my next question for you, man. What's the worst accident you've personally seen being out here driving the trucks?
Well, I was going to Laredo last year, and they've been doing the highway on I-35 south. And you could see the sign say, merge left, merge left. So, I seen it a few times. I done passed up and down, but this so happened is one day it was raining. And I guess somebody was on their phone, excuse me, text or whatever, watching a flick or whoever. And I see the cops, they got the whole highway blocked off. So they telling us to exit, kind of close by exit 88, somewhere around there. And you see this worker, they got the little lights on the back of their truck.
Yeah.
It's smashed. I had caught it on my TikTok. The 18-wheeler, his truck flipped over.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? And then you see the morgue in there.
Oof.
So, well, he survived. You took a life because you wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
And so, I know a lot of people, they like to sit up there and make TikToks. Yeah, out there on the road, whatever. Blah, and smile. But that 2 seconds that you took to look down, anything could happen in 2 seconds. And I'm pretty sure something similar to that happened with him, where he took his eye off the road, and that blink of an eye, you took somebody's life. Now, you're going to have to go to court for that. Now, if it was faulty equipment or the road was just too slippery, 2 questions. Were you driving slow? And were you paying attention? Because if you were paying attention, you would have noticed that truck was right there. So if your tire didn't blow and your brakes ain't go out, that's something you got to live with.
That's facts. I mean, I think that's one of the biggest things that I've noticed too, is that when I'm driving, is I see a lot of dudes, they'll use their knees to guide the steering wheel, or they'll literally be looking down and just one hand on the wheel driving. I mean, that to me is probably the number one no-no. I mean, anything you got to do on the phone can wait until after you're done for the day.
Yeah,
You know
or
what I'm
get
saying?
you a Bluetooth or
Or
something,
a mount, a mount to where you ain't even got to touch the phone. Use your heads free, So I
Right,
definitely
right.
agree with you on that one. So moving on, let me ask you a question. Now I get mixed signals sometimes, but for the most part, I think most people agree with this. How important is truck cleanliness? Just keeping it
Oh, it's
inside,
next to godliness.
you know.
I see so much dirty stuff. We go on my truck right now. It's clean. I got a vacuum, bought a microwave, but already had an ice box. I got a whole little drawer full of cleaning supplies. Especially with this COVID going around, even before COVID, just cleanliness is next to godliness, man. If you dirty, if your truck dirty, you dirty.
Yes, sir.
And if you dirty, then how your house look?
That's facts.
So if you ain't cleaning yourself out here, and you can get a free shower with 100 gallons, then you ain't cleaning yourself at home. And if you is cleaning yourself at home, then what made you start slacking? So I don't care if only time I get in and out that truck is to get some fuel, take a shower, get something to eat. Every morning I wake up, brush my teeth, wash my face, put on some deodorant. I don't care who in the bathroom with me. I'm going to brush my teeth. I don't care if you just took a piss and you sitting there washing your hands. I'm going to sit here and mind my business and don't let our eyes connect too long. Especially if you're on the pisser and we done got eye contact.
Yeah.
And I'm watching you while I'm brushing my teeth and you watching me.
Mm-hmm.
You got about 1.5 seconds to take your eyes off me.
Mm-hmm.
Or we about to have a whole problem in this
I
restroom.
know that's right.
Because I'm wondering why you ain't brushing your teeth.
Yeah,
If we just got out together.
that's true.
So, I mean, for all these that betray the, oh man, I'm going to play a whoop-de-whoop. Shit, when the last time you took a shower?
Facts.
That's going to tell me everything I need to know about you. I don't even want to shake your hand.
So, and I'm glad you brought that up. So, one of the things that I noticed, now, connect me if I'm wrong, that, I see a lot of people sometimes when you go in the bathroom, especially when you go to certain places, you can automatically just smell the person. And I've had incidents where that same person I smell, it's not really talking down on them, but at the same time, it's like, come on now, like I can smell you. There's, but I'm not gonna say nothing to the man, but it's been incidents to where I go walk by his truck because I'm walking out roughly around the same time,
Right.
and you can see all that garbage, and some truck drivers literally fill up the whole front
Front of their
windshield.
windshield with just junk.
Have you ever met another driver who you went into a truck and you just kind of was like, come on, man?
Damn near everybody I see.
Yeah.
On the scale of 1 to 10, I give it about an 8.5.
Hey. Okay.
Cause everybody just, dispatch won't give me this time, man. You got time to take a bath, bro.
Yeah.
I don't care.
You got time to clean your truck too.
That too. Some companies, they'll tell you once a month, go get your truck cleaned. Some companies, they got a car wash at the facility.
Yeah.
One way or another, you're gonna have to go back to that yard. Take a shower. Wash your truck. Clean the inside of it out. I think that's the worst thing, especially the guys with the stuff in the windshield, because if you break yourself, all that shit gonna fly in your vision. Now what you gonna do while you trying to swipe the chips and the cookie crumbs and all that shit out your face, and you done hit somebody from the back? Man, you out of there, a lawman on the side of the road, and you ain't get over quick enough, and that chip bag fly, you take that 1 second. That's all it take. 1 second, and you look up, and you done hit his truck, and he then drew down on it. Man, keep your stuff clean, keep your windshield clean, and you ain't never gotta worry about, because like you said, I seen the guy, smelt the guy. My motto, reach one, teach one.
Yeah.
So if you stink, I'm gonna tell you. I ain't got no filter. Hey, say, bro, you ever heard of Dove, Axe? What's that? Apparently you ain't heard of it. That's what you need for your hygiene, because I smell you. And if I smell you, you smell you.
Yes.
And if he wanna, bump the gump or whatever, I ain't gonna fight you. You dirty, I'm clean. I don't wanna hit that's like pissing in the wind.
Mm-hmm.
You gonna get hit back with it, so I'm gonna back up and be like, hey, look, I ain't trying to be rude or nothing, bro, but you need a shower? You need one of my little tickets or something?
I got you.
Because you need to go get up in there.
Right.
And so, I don't feel bad for him. And like you say, talking down, I don't call it talking down if we all adults.
Yeah, I mean, so I understand. I can get that. My next question is, have you ever had an experience with a DOT officer? And what was that like?
Yeah. Level 1 inspection.
Ooh. He went through the whole truck.
Through the whole truck.
Oh.
Crazy thing is, I was coming through Dallas, man, and my brake lines was, they was not my brake lines, my glad hand lines. One of them was kind of cracked, so I had just switched them out. And I was going through Oklahoma, worst place to pass through. Them, but I don't care what nobody say, they always open.
Yeah.
I don't give a damn. You coming through Dallas, through Mexico, Arkansas. They always open, bruh.
Yeah.
It ain't nowhere to beat this shit. I done tried. So you got to pass through there.
Yeah.
And my weight was right, everything. My tandem was on the right spot. He's like, well, your weight good, but today, you're level 1. Mm-hmm. He closed that garage door. My heart just started.
I know that's right.
I'm like, I know I ain't did nothing wrong, you know what I'm saying? But it's just that, from where I'm from, the law, he done closed that gate. You stuck up in there. I'm like, damn, look what I done did. But he checked everything. Everything was good. He said, man, I got one more thing. And if you pass, I'm going to go ahead and put a star on your truck. So anytime you pass through, they just going to let you fly through. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. He said, man, go ahead and do an 8 brake step. So I did. He said, hold. And he went back there, hit that bitch with some water and some soap. He said, man, come see. Tell me when to hold. I'm like, hold. You say, you squirt that line right there. He said, you see the bubbles forming on there? I say, yeah, I see. Well, yours ain't tight enough. Ooh. I said, so what that mean? He said, you're out of service. That's $250 fine. I said, what? Do what? Who gonna pay for that? The company? You say, well, that's between you and them. But somebody gonna pay for it before you leave.
Oh, you had to pay for it before you leave?
Oh,
They
wasn't
was
mailing
not
no
playing.
ticket in the mail. That man say you gotta pay that right now. I say,
Wow.
damn.
'Cause more,
So he let me open up the gate. Go ahead and park over there. That's the only way to get out of there. You gotta go back around to get out. You can't go that way because the parking lot ain't made to go that way. It's made to go this way.
so did your company end up having to pay for it, or they made
Shit, I told him either they pay for it, that truck stay there. You hear me?
Yeah.
So he's like, man, didn't you just get that tested or checked on? I'm like, yeah, but apparently he ain't doing right.
Right.
So they had to call somebody out there. Took him 5 hours to get there, just to tighten it.
Oh wow.
Cause I don't carry no tools on me.
Yeah.
Working for a multi-million-dollar company, whoever they may be, shit, they can afford it. I ain't about to put no tool in that truck unless it's something I want to hook my TV up with, excuse me, or something like that. But yeah, it was $250 fine and a lesson learned. Anytime you get work done in your truck, man, check it before you leave.
Yeah.
Don't take their word. Oh, you good? Roll out. Even if they changing the tire, it might be one lug nut they didn't tighten, and it might not take the whole tire off the rim. But for a lot of people that's supposed to do their pre-trip, post-trip, mid-trip, they might just sit in the truck for them 15 minutes, never got out and looked at their truck, and then you roll through that weigh station and you missing the lug nut. I just had my tire changed. Did you watch him put them on?
Did you check it?
Oh, yeah, I watched him put it on. So then where it went? When you did your pre-trip this morning, did you notice you was missing the lug nut? It must have fell off while I was driving. So you didn't even check to stick your hand in there and just do a little quick twist.
Right.
So, like I say, you got to pay attention to that. But other than that, I've never had a problem.
All right, so the next question I'm going to ask you is pertaining in our industry, trucking industry, for people who don't know, the way a driver gets their loads, we get dispatched on those loads, and typically we have what's called a DM, a driver manager, who will put us on those loads. It's a dispatcher. And, we get a hold of them, they let us know, and we get everything taken care of from there. In your personal experience, what kind of experiences have you had with dispatchers? I mean, for as long as you've been driving, has most of your experiences been good with dispatchers, or have you had some incidents where you just and how did you handle it?
Like I said previously, dispatch, they only worried about the load. My experience with them is it depends on who you're on the other line with. They got some that's cool. They got some that's not. A good dispatch, I ask you, hey, good morning. Or, hey, I know it's nighttime. You up? You 10-0. You feeling all right? Hey, I got one out of Mississippi, wherever, Georgia, wherever. You want to take this run, or you looking for some home time? Or,
So get more personable.
Get more personal with them. Now, you got one that say, hey, I got one for you heading out of New Orleans. Okay, but I'm in Alabama. Okay, well, just bobtail down there, grab it, and head back to Alabama. Why wouldn't you find me something out of Alabama to take there, and I can get one from there and come back?
Or at least offer to pay for the deadhead miles. So,
no deadhead.
No?
Nah, just straight bobtail.
Oh, man.
And you ain't getting paid for that. But the reason with that is that some dispatchers like that, you got to speak up for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't say, man, what about the deadhead, like you did? If you don't care, they don't care.
That's true.
And you'll be expecting, and they gonna disappoint you every time. because you didn't ask, and I got you on a recorded line. So you missed that little 600-800 miles.
Right.
You out of there. You ain't getting paid. You did that for free, out the kindness of your heart. And some of them you gotta just be like, I ain't doing it. Well, you don't have a choice. You're the closest one. I do have a choice.
Yeah.
I'm the captain of this ship, and if I don't feel safe, if I don't feel comfortable, if I don't want to go that direction, whatever it may be, it's up to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, you get to go home. You get to do whatever it is you got to do. I'm stuck here. I'm not going nowhere. If you don't have enough sleep, if you ain't ate, if you taking medication that's gonna make you tired, you have to take all of these things into consideration before you say, I'll take it. Check the weather. Because at the end of the day, they going home to their loved ones. Will you make it home?
Plan your day ahead. That's fast.
So with dispatch, it's kind of like pick and choose.
Okay.
Because you don't know who on the other side of that phone unless you've been working for them for umpteenth amount of time to where you could say, I'll be good. Because they know me.
Yeah.
There's always somebody that don't know somebody. And so everybody ain't cool with you.
So, all right, man. So, my next question to you is pretty much pre-trip inspections. Tell me a little bit about how important it is for the pre-trip inspections, and tell the new wave of drivers basically the importance of it, because I've noticed since I've been out here in 2016, sometimes I wake up and I'll see guys just get up, get in the front seat, and take off. So, talk a little bit about that, and tell the people how really important is it.
Well, you should always inspect your vehicle. You don't know what happened while you were asleep at night. We talked about road rage. Maybe that person followed you and pulled your pin.
And for people who don't know what a pin is, it's basically the fifth wheel that attaches to the trailer.
Locking mechanism.
Basically keeps the truck and the trailer attached.
Right.
Yep. Okay.
And if you don't have that airline on and you shut it off, then they can pull that pin off your fifth wheel. Now, if you got it on and the tractor one set but the trailer one not, they can't pull that pin. A lot of people don't know that. If they got pressure pushed on there, that pin ain't coming off. But if you set it and you fall asleep and you piss somebody off, or maybe somebody got fired or whatever, they gonna pull you. So when you wake up, you might have, like you say, jumped in the front seat. You might set it for 15 minutes like you did something and pull off, and that trailer hit that ground. Now, how you gonna get that trailer back?
Right.
So when it comes to pre-trips, it's very important, because as the sun come up and the moon come down, so does the atmosphere, so does the weather, so does the moisture. You need to check all your lines, make sure they're not cracked, bent, or broken. Because just because you made it somewhere safe, that don't mean tomorrow if you hit a piece of debris on the road that didn't cut one of your lines.
Yep.
And now you stuck on the side of the road, losing money, losing time, and costing the company. So
and costing yourself.
And yourself, because you ain't gonna get paid to sit on the side of the road for a breakdown that you could have prevented if you did your pre-trip. And so a lot of things come into factor with that. You got a bust windshield, missing mud flap. It's 1,000 things that you're supposed to check daily to make sure that you're good to go. So pre-trip is as good as taking a shower every day in your hygiene. If you don't practice it, you might find somebody telling you something.
Right.
Maybe it ain't your fellow worker, maybe it's DPS.
Right. Yeah, hey.
Maybe it's the hospital.
Yep.
Your shit done caught on fire. Yeah. So please, it's a must. Check your equipment, because you don't know
pre-trip.
what happened.
So, I want to ask a real specific question. And you know, I want to ask all the male drivers that I interview this question, and the reason being is because we all got different perspectives on it. So I want the honest view from your point of view. What do you think about female drivers? Just, you know, out here on the road, give some advice to where they can keep themselves safe. What's your opinion about them driving? Because I know in my personal experience, most women drivers that I've ever seen outdo the men 10 to 1. Any day. So kind of let me know, you know, your views on that.
Well, I mean, we have different body parts, but at the end of the day, we still all human.
Yeah.
Just with different body parts.
That's facts.
You know, back in the I say the 50s, 60s, 70s, you know, men were known to build houses, put bathrooms, do plumbing, work construction, drive trucks, whereas the women were known to stay at home and be the house mom. Now that this generation is so twisted and backwards, now women out accepting jobs that men do. And so for a female, I would suggest first thing, get you a dog. You know, I ain't gonna say get you a gun because you crossing state lines with every state is different rules for carrying a gun.
That's facts.
You don't want to get caught up in that, I promise you that. So get you a dog. You know, pay attention, don't be so busy. He look like he got some money on him. You know what I'm saying? Leave that man alone. Do what you get paid to do and go to sleep.
Right.
Because, like you say, women can do the same as men, but because some of them, not all of them, are attractive, they get away with a lot of things like, oh, can you pump my gas for me? Shit, what if you don't give him your number and he done put that diesel in your death tank? You out of there.
You ain't
Pump
going
your
nowhere
own
now.
gas.
Yeah.
Pump your own gas, man.
Right.
Watch who you say what to.
That's
Lock
true.
your door. Take your seatbelt and
Wrap it
around the door and then lock it in place. That way you know you can go to sleep halfway safe.
Yeah.
You know, it's no telling. A man, not all men, but most men will defend themselves. A woman you can't outpower that man.
Yeah.
I don't care how big you is, how small you is, how big he is, how small he is. At the end of the day, that's a man.
Yeah.
And you not stronger than this man. And even if you are, what's the risk that you're going to put yourself into trying to defend yourself?
Right.
So, you know, they can do the jobs like we got.
That's right.
But they have to be more safe with what they do. And, you know, if it ain't a bunch of lights like it's out here right now, don't park there. Because you take the risk of being assaulted, you know. And that's kind of worse than getting in a car wreck because now you traumatized trying to make $1. Now you don't want to work no more.
Yeah.
Out of fear because something happened to you. So you just have to keep that in mind. Always be 10 toes on everything you do.
That's facts.
And you'll make it in life. You know, just if you getting paid to do a job, do your job. Don't let nobody do it for you because you might find you a stalker.
Yep.
Straight up.
So, just for the new wave of drivers too coming out here, how expensive is it just being out here on the road? So, for people who got family at home, things that they may have to consider when they come out here as far as expense wise, what can you tell a lot of the new drivers coming out here about that kind of expense?
Well, go with some money. When you start your new job, make sure you got your $200 in your pocket. That's the least. Maybe $100.
The economy
Depending on
now,
how much you'll eat.
Right.
You know, if you can manage your food for a week, you good, because you're always going to have that week in the hole. Sometimes 2 weeks in the hole.
Yeah.
And so Keep something in your pocket. I don't care if you got $40. Buy you some noodles, buy you some water, and just that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get so big-eyed and bushy-tailed every time you see a burger stop or a taco truck. Manage your money, because if you don't manage your money and you ain't got nobody to call, you gonna starve.
Yeah. Rice and beans, man. That's rice and beans right there.
Anything that'll get you full,
Right.
just to get a good night's rest. Because at the end of the day, if you starting out and you knew you ain't got no money, you probably ain't got nobody to call on, because they waiting on you to hit jackpot.
Yep.
So what you gonna do? Cry for help? Every man stand on his own.
That's true.
At the end, when the sun go down, you on your own. So with that being said, you on your own. Think before you spend your bread, and if you bad at managing your money, hopefully you got a significant other that can guide you or lead you and be like, hey, look, spend $50 this week. Next week when you get paid, go get you some groceries, buy you some hygiene, do everything that you need to do so that you are prepared for whatever comes. If it's winter time, keep your water, keep your blankets. You might get with some companies, they don't want to pay for gas. I ain't gonna say no names. You know what I'm saying? So you gonna freeze in that truck. But if you got you some blankets, you got you some water, you can sleep on that water. It ain't gonna freeze.
That's true.
And you'll have you something to drink. Don't go dehydrated. If you believe in the Lord, you better say your prayers every day. Hope God make a way for you to get paid, to stay paid.
Yes, sir.
That's the best advice I could give anybody.
So, last few questions. Trying to make this have a little comedy in it. So I'm gonna ask you some random questions just to add a little flair into it. Some questions may make sense, some may not, but however you want to answer, that's up to you. They just questions. My first question is if bald people work in a restaurant, do they still need to wear a hairnet?
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Just because you bald, your hair still gonna grow.
Right.
I don't know, you ain't shaved in 3 days and I get some.
Right.
If I get a plate of food with smell, that meal about to be free.
Right.
And you gonna have to remake it with a hairnet on. You heard me?
Next question is, which one would you prefer? Have no nose, but have really nice smelling fingers? Or be blind, but have a really nice smile?
Well, if you ain't got no nose, how you know your fingers smell good?
There you go.
And if you blind and you got a nice smile, shit, I'd have to go with being blind.
Okay.
Because I got to smell.
Right.
That's a must. Like we said, hygiene. People don't like to take a bath. I got to smell. Now, I can't see you, but I can sure smell you.
Right.
So,
All right, and the last question is basically, if you have described something as indescribable, have you already described it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, look, man, tell the people, if you have a social media account, how people can, if they have any questions, they want to get a hold of you. Do you have an Instagram, TikTok you want to put out there, or Facebook?
I got a few little social media apps.
Okay.
I mean, if you're looking for comedy, laughter, the wise tales from the wise, you can check me out at Mr. BlackSolo on TikTok, Texas edition. That's my little page. I do a little comedy. I do some heart to heart.
Okay.
And that'd probably be the only way you get in contact.
You said TikTok?
Yeah.
All right, TikTok. Okay. All right, man. So, well, look, I appreciate you doing this interview. I'm going to stay in touch with you. And can you let everybody know, where to find me and what your experience was with me today?
Yeah, most definitely. They can find you at Rock Doc Trucker TV. You know, so stay tuned for that.